For those of you who aren't aware of it, I was really never a big Loretta Lynch fan. My reasoning for not being a big fan of hers was when she was the head of the, I guess, New York region for the Department of Justice. She was in charge of the prosecution of the big banks in screwing up our economy, and she cut a deal with them where they paid, I think, a total somewhere around $5 billion in fines or whatever, but not one person went to jail. Not one CEO of a major bank was prosecuted. And those motherfuckers all knew what the hell was going on and what they were doing. They committed criminal acts, and she didn't prosecute a single one of them. And that is why I was never a big fan of hers to become the Attorney General for the entire country. All right, that being said, she is, in my opinion, a candy ass, okay? And she has her own agenda. Now, she is not LGBT, but it seems like, for whatever reason, anytime an LGBT issue pops up, she's got her fat ass out there protecting them. It would have really been nice for her to have her fat ass out there protecting African Americans as far as voting rights and discrimination and illegal murders by various people across, various police across the country were concerned. It would have been really nice if she had jumped in there on that Tamir Rice case, because I believe his murder was absolutely a violation of his civil rights. But oh no, she decides that she's going to jump in there on that North Carolina HB2 transgender law and threaten the entire state, which, yeah, I don't care about that one way or the other. You know, that's their business. I'm more concerned about mine. But again, back to my initial point, she did not do as much as hardly anything that she could have in order to advance equal, I'm not saying extraordinary rights, just equal rights for African Americans. That's just my opinion. So now the Hispanics are going to come under fire because DACA is an executive order. And your buddy and mine, President Obama, signed an executive order giving cover to kids covered under the DACA and the DREAM Act, which the DREAM Act never was passed, but he signed off on executive orders to basically make it so, but not under law, under order. And obviously Donald Trump can, with the stroke of a pen, get rid of the order. Now look at the comfort that she is going to provide for the people that she and Obama, not necessarily her, but Obama, quote unquote, sold a bill of goods to that enticed them to register as undocumented people within the country. Check this out.
Something very specific, which is sort of becoming an emerging political issue, particularly, I think, among Democratic members of Congress seem to be most energized about this. And it's about these young immigrants who came forward because the Obama administration said they should. The deferred action, the DACA kids, the Dreamers, they came forward, and they, about more than 700,000 of them, and they registered with the government, which is something that we do not ask people to do in very many circumstances in this country. But they registered, they made themselves known, they are on record officially as being in this country without proper papers. Now, that would seem, I would imagine, that a lot of those people feel like they've got a real target on their forehead in terms of being targeted for deportation or other enforcement actions by this incoming president, given his attitude toward immigrants and toward undocumented immigrants in particular. Some members of Congress have argued that the White House should issue a pardon to those kids for any past immigration violations or any future immigration violations, and that maybe that would prevent them from being deported, because these kids did come forward with these assurances they'd be okay. Now they might not be okay. Would the pardon work? Is there something else that could be done to protect those kids given the circumstances into which they came up?
Yeah, look, I think that's a question that has a lot of different layers to it. The issue of whether or not someone gets a pardon is really actually an individualized decision that the president makes person by person. So, you know, there's no process set up to pardon a group of people en masse. And so I think people are going to have to look towards making sure that their policy interests are really heard by the incoming administration, that the same policy interests that prevailed to provide the whole status in the first place are carried forward as well, and make sure that those voices continue to be heard also.
Does that sound like a bullshit answer to you? Because it damn sure sounds like a bullshit answer to me.
And I understand that concern. I understand
it's heartbreaking.
Think about the fears of
the roller coaster that they've been on.
Yes. No, and I think it's clear, and I think you've outlined it very well. But I think that they're going to have to look to this new administration, try and find people there within that group with whom to speak.
Yeah, they're going to have to look to the new administration, who's already said he wants to kick their asses out of here yesterday. Yeah, you're really going to look to somebody like that. That's just like a black person looking to the Klan to give him a hand up out of an alligator pit. Really? Okay.
Raise those same issues that convinced the Obama administration to support them. And look, I think there are a lot of issues that we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what the future is going to bring. But certainly I would hope that the record that they have built would be taken into consideration as anyone would consider how to handle people in that situation.
They're criminals, according to Trump and Pence and everybody else. So no matter what they've done subsequent to that, they've broken the law and they need to be deported, a la Donald Trump. So another candy ass bullshit answer from Loretta Lynch. But did you expect anything else?